Felicia, Michele, Poorani, welcome to Thriving in the Age of Disruption podcast series. It's a special one. We've got two sets of sisters. Today in the recording studio, we have a set of twins as well who are capturing us in action.
I know, that's very coincidental.
Yes, that's right.
Lovely.
That's right.
Yes.
Thank you for being here today.
You're welcome.
And it's an unusual kind of a podcast because normally I interview just one person and I go through a series of questions. But today we've got sisters and you have a common background and kinship. And at the same time, you've gone out there and done different things in life. So I thought the best way is to get each one of you to introduce yourself.
Thank you very much. This experience is amazing and one of a kind. Being able to do something with my sister that's going to be there forever and for our kids to see. I am a newly retired from corporate life after 30 years. I spent the last year being an entrepreneur. So my company is called Who Says I Can't? 30 years of corporate banking. It's taught me a lot. And I'm excited to use my learnings, from corporate life into entrepreneurship. I am a mother of 2 teenage boys.
Oh, nice.
And that is so much joy. That to me is the best job in the world. And I'm so glad that I have now time to spend because before they ship off to university.
Lovely. Okay, great. Lovely. Thank you. And what about you, Felicia?
I am not retired.
Oh.
And extremely envious. No, I'm still very much part of the corporate world. A multi-family office. Right. Something that's, I think, something that we share.
Yes.
Right? And Poorani. I'm also a mother. And I think both my sister and I take motherhood very seriously.
Oh,
yes.
Wow.
And if you can have some questions on that, we would love to share.
Okay. We'd love to do that. All right.
We might not take our advice, but it's just perspectives, right? We all share our perspectives.
Right.
I warn you though, very different perspectives sometimes.
Okay. Poorani, I've never had you on Thriving in the Age of Disruption podcast series as a co-host.
Right.
So would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Poorani Thanusha, and I'm sister of Dr. Ramesh here. And we work together. We've been working together for the last 30 years.
Yes.
And people who don't know us cannot believe that we're sisters. And when they do know us, then the next question they ask is, how have you managed to work for so long together, right? What's your secrets? Although we don't call ourselves a family business, what does it take to work as a family has been a journey. I work as a principal consultant at Talent Leadership Crucible, and we've been doing this work for the last over 10 years in this iteration of systems and systems awareness, which is really an area of passion. That's what keeps us, I think, connected because we have a shared vision of elevating consciousness. And that's what allows us to smoothen out some of the
sisterly
or even professional tensions.
You're the role model.
Okay. So that's me. Yes. And thank you, Dr. Ramesh, for inviting me to be a co-host. I think it's so exciting to have 2 sisters.
I would like to dive into the first question. When I started this podcast in 2021, December, it was lockdown. And I thought, what can I do that can inspire many people? And I have quite an extensive network of change makers. So how about I interview them and then people can listen to their journey. Mm-hmm. So the 2 focus for me is 1, an entrepreneurial mindset. And the second is a crisis-ready mindset. And I feel that these 2 mindsets are essential for today's VUCA world. An entrepreneurial mindset means you're resourceful, you can manage uncertainty, take risks, and thirdly, create value for yourself and for others, and it can be financial or non-financial. So the key thing, Felicia, someone can use an entrepreneurial mindset at the workplace. As an employee. They can use that in an NGO setting. where they're making impact. And of course, as an entrepreneur. I wanted to ask both of you how in your own life you've been entrepreneurial and using this entrepreneurial mindset.
So I look after a lot of people. And one of the things that I always say to them is that you should not mindlessly do something at the end of the day. It's always good to give some thought to what it is that you do. Maybe you can make it better. Maybe make it more productive in terms of revenue or even as a satisfaction to yourself. There are many opportunities in the workplace, even to, in fact, create an experience that it's not mundane. I think that entrepreneurship mindset can be applied in every aspect of life, not just within the workplace. It is just a matter of willing to be able to think more laterally.
Right.
That's my perspective on it.
Oh, wonderful. And you're spot on. Entrepreneurs are creative. They have to think out of the box, have constraints in terms of resources.
Yes.
How do you get something done?
Absolutely.
And quick, right?
Correct.
So what about you, Michele?
So everything she says definitely resonates with me. I totally believe in leave the job in a better place than when you took it. And that applies to everything in life. In the corporate setting, if you get a role, no matter what role, but if you set your mind to it, be innovative, right? Exercise critical decision making, use innovation, and set your mind to thinking how you can make it better. When I was running big teams, it's not about the big things. It's also about the little things.
Right.
And little things add up to big things. So it's not about spending the 1 million, 10 million, or 50 million to do the innovation. Let's say we talk about technology transformation. It's about, hey, if you are spending, 20 emails trying to get one point across, you've already wasted too much time. Try and get it done in one email.
Pick the phone up.
Or pick the phone up. So it's
Pick the phone up.
It's as simple as that. So we give big labels so that maybe it makes us feel like we're doing a more important job. But if you actually break it down, it's quite simple. Just try and do something, improve something every day. And many books have been written about that.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think value is important.
Yes.
Just always think about what actions create value. And it doesn't have to be monetary.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I guess you see that a lot with the kind of work that you do with family offices. How do you create value?
I think you must always have a focus, not just on the revenue side of things, but also the non-monetary value that it brings. So everything has to be sustainable.
Did you want to add on about entrepreneurship or the entrepreneurial mindset?
Well, I've never started my own business. I've always been someone who co-creates.
Yes,
we
she's been my
co-generate.
partner.
Yeah. But I see entrepreneurial, the spirit is available because it's really like you both pointed out, right? Innovation, a value creation, but more from, not for the sake of it, it's contributing towards something. And from what I've experienced for myself, there's always something bigger we're contributing to. And when you're connected to that, then every small thing becomes clearer and more meaningful and productive, right? Versus being a checkbox, I sent 20 emails. I'm actually protecting myself just to say I've done my job. Whereas to just pick up the phone is because I know this result is critical for the next point or for the bigger picture, right? So for me, the entrepreneurial spirit gets unleashed in a way effortless in action when there's something we're connected to.
Like a bigger purpose?
Yeah, so then
like a vision?
I'm resourceful. I'm just doing stuff that I would not typically do because there's something big.
So when your values and purpose is very clear, then you are focused.
Yes.
And you are resourceful and passionate and dedicated, right? Then suddenly from deep within, you have grit and resilience. Yeah. That is the key. Yeah. The other point I want to bring up is about courage. Because a lot of time you have the entrepreneurial mindset, But the thing that connects with impact is action. And to do action, you really need courage to do something different, to step out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Right? I've seen it happen many times in the workplace. When people step out of their comfort zone, good things happen. Progress happens. To me, is also fundamental to entrepreneurship or just doing something different.
Yeah.
Growing in life.
But not be a cowboy, though. I'm just saying that, it always has to be mitigated by, assessing the risk before you go and charge on. That's what I mean.
Calculated risk, but that comes with maturity.
Yes.
There's also a difference with where you are on your journey. You have seasoned entrepreneurs who have had good training in corporate life, who then comes out and do their own things. And I think that's very helpful.
Yes.
Good decision making. Or if you're an young entrepreneur, then you have to surround yourself with a support structure that can mentor you, groom you, guide you, not to make the rookie mistakes.
Correct. We work in the culture change workspace, and most of the companies and owners want their staff to have an ownership mindset. And when you look at entrepreneurial mindset, that quality, which is, I own this, I'm going to give my 100% because it's my baby. So how do you get that same mindset, that ownership mindset in an employee? If you have an entrepreneurial mindset, you have a deeper connection to what you're doing. And yes, you might have to take risks, may have to deal with uncertainty, but for sure you have to create value.
Yeah.
I think in the corporate world, when you talk about a job, that's quite different from when you actually do the business. When you start a business and you're an entrepreneur, I think the fact that there is that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow is quite obvious. Obviously, if you make it, that pot of gold is yours. But if you are in a job situation, you don't have control over that. You don't have control.
Correct. That's the point. The point is not about entrepreneurship per se, like start and run a business. It's more about bringing that mindset of
The collective.
entrepreneurial mindset to anything that we do.
Yes, in a family office business context, right? That is a very crucial part of, like, how do you incentivize or motivate your entrepreneurial mindset inclined employees or family members to actually contribute in that manner, right? So remuneration is very much part of it, compensation, how you design all of that. Yeah, so in a corporate context.
Yes, that's a great question. And although we didn't plan to dive into that, but one of the ways we do in our consulting is creating a shared future. And the shared future becomes the proxy for that entrepreneurial venture. The payoff may not be a pot of gold, but how we are able to develop as we go towards that shared future. It's the opportunity that we get to expand ourselves, our leadership, our management skills, and be better human beings. And that's what you were pointing to, which is knowing that I'm up to creating a fantastic life at work, at home, because I'm doing something which is connected to my North Star, and my company is doing it, and I'm really empowered. That's typically what we do in our consulting.
That's true. That's
right?
true.
So the motivation has to be bigger and greater than that extrinsic motivation of just money and bonus.
Yes, agreed.
A good way to start the crisis ready mindset segment is to define it, right? So crisis is a setback. I mean, it can be a failure and it can be a big blown out crisis. And normally in a crisis, we have three kinds of reactions. We can freeze, we can fight, or we can flee. It's a life and death situation. Yeah.
Not in reality, but inside of how you perceive, right?
The people who have resilience rise above a crisis and relate to a crisis as an opportunity, develop some support structure, have a coping mechanism, and also, they've been at work with this for a long time. In other words, it's a kind of a daily practice. So when you both look at your own personal crisis, and because you're sisters, you probably even had common crisis.
Shared crisis.
But each one of you could have related to it quite differently. It may be something that you went through, and she, an observer or a supporter, like we were going to list our technology company in early 2000, and we didn't. As an entrepreneur, my crisis was quite different, and her perspective to it would be very different. But because we are sisters and also working together, so it would have been quite alarming for her as well.
So although it was a shared situation, how I took it was different.
So I'm thinking that, because we have grown up leading very different lives. So that's very interesting. What we can talk about is our parents getting divorced very early on.
Yeah.
Because we coped differently and our paths diverged and came back together in different points in our life. Honestly, I can't even remember how old I was when mom and dad divorced. Was I 8?
No, actually, you were 7.
Okay, so she remembers more than me. I cannot remember happy times in the 7 years. Well, because you only gain consciousness and memory like from 3 or 4 or 5, right?
Can put words and thoughts.
So I've got really short memory of family life. So that has been a big part that is missing from my life. Did it affect me very badly? I would say I don't feel that I was the favorite child. I think she was more amicable and happy, and they all, I think, loved her more because I was like prickly bear and difficult second child, right? That's interesting. I always felt that I was a difficult one. And I do remember at that time, I probably gave my mom the most trouble. Really? I think we fought quite a lot. Or mom was always telling me off. So that's my memory of early childhood. I think the divorce manifested differently for me that I couldn't articulate. So I was just prickly bear.
Right.
Oh, I never saw any of that.
Oh.
Maybe I was oblivious.
Yeah, I think maybe that was oblivion.
Yes.
She's quite zen. She's quite zen,
at just not noticing.
Ignoring stuff. So how was it for you? Like when at 9, can you remember?
You know, I've always been the sort of person like, if somebody gives you lemon, you try and make lemonade.
Yeah.
Right.
Even at 9, wow, that's evolved.
No, I mean, I never perceived it as a crisis. You know?
Interesting.
If you look at the statistics, most children come from divorced parents.
Yep.
Yes.
But where we were always lucky was that we had a very strong mother.
Oh, that's true. She's a role model.
Yeah. My mom was a teacher. And no matter what happened in her life, she always made sure that we were very well looked after. Right. So even though she was teaching, we had a helper at home. Like, it was quite rare to have a helper in those days, right? She was like an oma there, and she looked after us. And then when she had to go back because she was too old, my sister and I were given a lot of independence. You know, we used to, even from a young age, we would let ourselves in, feed ourselves.
I think so, a 7, you know.
Yeah. So
Wasn't that a bit too young?
No, but we did that because we had to, because mom had to work.
No, agreed. So I'm not sure that is like safe, right? I
people
couldn't
don't think of
imagine.
that.
I couldn't imagine living.
Nowadays,
Yes.
in the days when we were growing up,
There was no choice.
Yes, of course.
it was a single parent working at a teacher's job. And she wasn't home to feed us.
Yeah.
So the simple thing was, here's the key. You come home, you open the door, you let yourself in, you make sure you lock the door, and then, you know.
Don't burn the house down.
Yeah, and mommy will bring dinner home.
Yeah.
That was it.
But we have to take care of our own lunch, right?
But I don't think it was a crisis.
No. But that's the only thing that, I mean, like before we split and live different countries, different lives. I think
I always had my sister's support.
Right.
So when I go through bad times, she would just hop onto the plane and she's always been there for me. That's the thing with crisis. If you have fundamental support somewhere, somewhere that you don't feel totally alone, you can manage it.
Yeah, I'm really present to something very interesting. You're the older one, right? And in your world, everything looks supported. Like, it's okay, I'll do it. And when you went through a crisis, she was there for you. In some ways, it was like that for me and Poorani. I'm the older one. But she's always there with my crisis. I had loads of them. Right? But when I think back now, I don't think I was there for her crisis. So she had setbacks and difficult times, but she learned to cope with it her way. Please forgive me if I was not there for you.
Confessions. The confessions of the guilty.
Hey, don't start crying.
I forgot to put tissue. I should realize that. But like how Felicia said it, I have a more Zen approach to it. Because I do know that push comes to shove, that I already have the innermost structure, right? You know, even though I may not ask for help, I know it's there. I know people are there. I know there's a safety net somewhere. Somehow, I don't know why it is there for me. So I never question.
I think we are the more emotional ones.
Maybe it's the other way around. If I have a crisis, I'll go and tell everyone.
Exactly. So she
I'll tell everyone.
Yeah.
Right?
She will say,
I need your support.
Yeah,
or I need this.
So
right?
that's her, right?
I will make requests. Right? So I'm not, but she's the silent one, right?
Michelle Obama says one of the greatest lessons in life that she learned is from her family, or her mom, I think, says, always come home. Always come home. We love you there.
Yes.
Right? That is the anchor. There is so much hate and it's so volatile.
Yes.
But you can always go home.
Yes.
And if you have an anchor, if you have a home, knowing that, okay, I might not need her for 50 years. And then suddenly I decide, hey, actually, I need some help, and I go to her, I know I'll get it.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Right? If I go to mom, I know I'll get it.
Yeah.
And likewise, you do whatever you want to do. I can voice out my opinions. I give you my perspectives. I do not agree with what you are doing. But at the end of the day, it's like, you just go do whatever you do. And if you need help, I'm the first one there. No judgment. Any crisis can be managed when you feel like you have support.
Yes.
And it gives you the confidence to fight the fight.
Yeah.
Go out there and just do your best because someone's got your back. In the workplace, we call that now psychological safety. If you tell somebody, young person, go and innovate, go and be entrepreneurial, they don't know what they're doing. But if you say, go, as long as you don't burn the house down, right? You don't get into any regulatory issues, I got your back.
Yeah.
Okay, but of course you're there to guide them and they know how to, to escalate any issues before it happens. I think that's how we support them, right?
Yep.
And psychological safety is huge. I don't think we've got it right yet
I think
in any environment.
Yeah, and I think that is very relevant for all situations, right?
Yeah.
In crisis management.
Yeah.
The important thing is look it in the face, acknowledge that you have a problem, right? And then actively decide how you're going to try and address it,
Right.
right? There's no running away from it because it's there, it's staring you in the face, you know?
Yeah, and I think for our kids too. Oh my gosh. For children, you have to create that psychological safety. And sometimes we don't think about our children because we practice that in the workplace. But when it comes to our family and our lives, we're just like, whoa, unleash, right?
Yeah.
My son called me the other day. The first thing he said, he knows me well, right? This is my second son. Mommy, don't be angry. You just focus on what you are doing right now. But I just want to tell you, I forgot I got maths tuition. Said. Then I was like, my first instinct was like, how can you forget? It's every Wednesday. Then I'm like, it's okay. So what are you doing with it now? So, so we managed it. So he managed it. So they went online instead of him going to the tuition center. He missed 15 minutes, but he didn't miss the whole session. So I thought that was really good crisis management.
Extremely well done.
Yes, it was.
Jake, my
Jake's
second boy, they
crisis,
know me well. So they already says, don't react. This is how I dealt with it. And I was like, don't react. So I'm changing.
See, I'm different.
Yeah.
I'm like all embracing and like, oh, don't worry, darling, it's fine, Yeah, there will be another occasion. It's okay,
Next
it's only
week.
one session. It's
I
so
know,
different,
but
right?
you don't instill the responsibility.
See, that's
the responsibility is if you have a schedule, you have to meet your schedule. Otherwise, what kind of discipline do you have? When you go to the workplace, if you have a deadline, you have a deadline.
I'm absolutely not discounting the fact that you have to have discipline, but it is just reinforcing the fact that, maybe
When there's a mistake,
that there is that one person in this world who is going to love you through all the F-ups that you could do. The best thing my daughter said to me the other day was she had a mini crisis because she was doing an internship. And unfortunately, the boss was having a bad day and basically unleashed all his frustrations onto her. And it really upset her. And so she called me and talking through it and all that. I said, darling, are you feeling better? She says, yes, I'm feeling better. Mama, I knew the one person in the world that can make me feel better.
Oh.
And I thought that was amazing, So I think having that support is really critical.
Yes, yes. You've just got one daughter?
I've got one daughter and one son.
I think boys and girls are different, right?
I think my boy is the same, except that my boy's issues are different.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I've got two boys. I mean, they don't tell me everything because they already know how mommy's going to react. So they manage me. They're very funny. So they try and manage me, but I think I still know enough.
In those good old days, it was unquestioned. That family is always there for you, right? That family is your bedrock. But I think in today's world, people will say, oh, family is whoever you say is family. Right? They could say friends or other, I don't know, maybe even colleagues. So even that question of family is evolving and is no longer something we can take for granted. But ultimately, I think what we're all pointing to is that part of navigating a crisis, that confidence or the courage to see through that very, very dark moment is knowing that someone's got your back.
Yeah.
Right? In a way that you can go there, however ashamed you are, however upset you are, that you know that for that moment you will be just taken in, right? You will just be accepted.
And that's
The
powerful.
safety, yeah.
Oh, that's the safety net.
Yes, safety
That's the
net.
psychological
Yeah.
safety.
And apart from, let's say, that analogy of a home, right? That you can always come home. Some of us may provide that in other ways, like solve your problem, right? Some of us may just provide just
Listening ear.
unconditional love and listening ear. So there are many ways in which we can be supportive to our near and dear ones.
Yeah.
And also it's for us to understand that there are many people offering us support, but can we see it? Can we hear it? Because we may be only used to one way, but they are offering other things. Right? It's just that we can't see it.
Yeah. There's so much talk nowadays about the lack of connection as a result of technology and social media. I think a lot of a person's resilience comes from their support network.
Yeah. Knowing
You
that
have some sort of fallback.
Yeah.
We can't take relationships for granted. I think we also have to work on it. I do spend a lot of time trying to win the trust and the respect of my children because I want them to be comfortable enough to bring any problems to me.
yeah.
With children, tough love, and sometimes it's like we can negotiate, sometimes no negotiation because I know that
Yes.
this is just going to be a disaster and this is just ethically wrong, right? Wrong for integrity. You've got no ethics. You cannot do things like that. I think we have to strike that balance. So parenthood is really tough.
Yes.
Trying to teach them to be good human beings with empathy and kindness, which I think is seriously lacking in the world right now and in children, right? Be kind, be empathetic is so hard to balance, but at the same time, be commercially sustainable.
And maybe also knowing where and how to make that trade-off if both those values are at clash in that moment.
How do you approach it, Ram, in, say, in one of your projects with the families in terms of crisis management?
Yeah. In family businesses, we talk about this thing called familyness. And it's a function of the time that I've spent with you, interacting over meals, doing activities. And when you look at a society like Singapore, we have very little of that because of the nuclear family situation. But where I live now in Hanoi, it's very tight because they live in the same compound. They may have 2-3
Generation, yeah.
Yep.
They talk about big family, small family. They're conscious about that. We've lost that awareness at some level because we are very much in our small family era. Right? So how do you sustain it? That collective get together that both of you have when you're together in a country is important. That you rejoice happy events and also are able to share things which are not going well so that you can be there to support each other. Then the question is what builds trust? Because if I'm openly communicating to you and I'm able to share what I feel about something, even if it's something that I don't like, then I'm not going to build up the resentment because the 4 conflict areas for most families, whether they are in business or not, comes from, number 1, multiple roles. I may be the older sister and I may be the boss or I may be an employee. And all these roles, it's difficult to remember which hat I'm wearing when I'm speaking to her. So roles cause that conflict. The second piece, which is unique in family business, is task conflict. Task conflict is where do we want to go? We can choose north, south, east, west. Where do we want to go? When the next gen comes on board, they want to be engaged in that conversation. It's a co-created discussion. But the founder may not want to engage in that because they don't know how to express it or they don't want to express it. So there's some tension, conflict there, but it's also good because it allows people to create new relationships, connections. Because sometimes in a conflict, when you kiss and make up, you actually create the connection, right? So let's say you resolve, I'm going east. Now it's the process conflict. The process conflict is, how do we get there? Do we take a plane? Do we drive over? Right? It's in the nitty-gritty. That becomes another conflict. And this is hard because the founder has done it one particular way for 30 years. And they don't think that you can tell them anything to make a bigger difference. But you've come from an environment where you watched AI come in and, things can be just changed immediately with higher productivity and efficiency. So how can these two talk in a meaningful fashion and align quickly so that there's synergy for the family and the business versus you're traditional and I'm not understood? That's the challenge, right? And connection really can be supported with open communication. And when you start to have these open conversations, then you start to build trust. You talked about trust, right? Being available for your children, having consistent behavior, whether you're the strict mom or not the strict mom, it doesn't matter, but that you're consistent provides them that safety, that structure. They know they can count on you to be this way. The last conflict, and that's the worst, is a relationship conflict. And a relationship conflict is something that happens because over the past 10 years, 20 years, I've collected all this evidence that you're not a good person. You've done me harm. And it's really difficult to sort out a relationship conflict because they've given up. Both sides have given up.
Yeah.
They think they can't do anything more.
And usually that's when the buyout happens.
Yeah. But usually relationship conflicts is a culmination of all the other conflicts unresolved.
Yes. So we work with family businesses and we tell them openly that it's an education they have to invest in for their children, for themselves. They have to unlearn and relearn how to communicate. Just because we are families or we are connected by blood doesn't mean that we know how to communicate. And that's a game changer when people are open enough to say that, oh, it's an education. I need to navigate this. I need to learn how to communicate this, express myself openly, and at the same time, not disempowering them. And what helps, of course, is having a shared future. We assume that just because we are related and we do the same thing, that we have it. No. We've got to create that. Now, we do a good job in creating that in companies as a vision or a strategy. Or we do a terrible job with family businesses and family offices. We think that it's redundant. It's not, we assume you should know, but that's fatal.
Yeah. And that's precisely what it is, right? Family offices are just the corporatization of the family.
Yep.
In a nutshell.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
The governance framework that regulates companies should be adopted in a family context to deal with all these crises, and all these issues that might come up. Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. But just one thing to add though, right, is that how we capture what we used to do really well inside corporates, right? Like the vision and the strategy and all of that. We're bringing it back here. But I say with a caution because there is a difference between a vision and a future. We feel very strongly from the work we have done is that a shared vision today that we see in organizations is really not a shared future. Like shared future is like we journey together. Your fall is my fall. Like really having that in your bones. It's not like, oh, okay, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, it's okay. We can do something else. In the past, it was, like you said, it was taken for granted. That's what we call altruism, isn't it? Like altruistic behavior is one of the cornerstones of the strengths of family.
Well, externalize it.
Exactly.
Don't make it about you.
Exactly.
And that is precisely what your framework should deliver, right? It's not about you. It's about the family.
Yes.
No. But how do you switch them from
Yeah.
being
Yes,
in
that's
individual
tough, right?
to a
That-
collective?
Yeah.
Because they have, unfortunately, their environment, their friends, the school,
experiences,
their
yeah.
experiences are very individual. And they are rewarded for
And
their
disconnected.
individual performance.
Yeah.
So then how do you bring them back to the sense of collective or kampong or whatever?
I think sometimes it is just simply not practical or realistic, right? To do that. Like you say, if you are on the spectrum of conflicts, right, and you've hit the relationship conflict, you just can't stand the sight of that person. There's no way on this planet that I'm going to be working with that person, right? Then you have to do something about it.
Yes.
You have to have a mechanism for a buyout.
Oh, yeah.
Right? You need to trim it down, and then start from maybe there, right? Just because from a family business perspective, I no longer want to be part of you, it doesn't mean that you are not family.
Yeah.
You are still family,
Yes.
right? And if you have a mechanism to deal with that, such that, okay, I can't work with you, but you are still family and I will still look after you like family, right? And if you can compartmentalize, within this framework, then perhaps you have a model that would work.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So we do have one option, and it's not a buyout, but it's more of creating a shared future, which is long enough that your current problems fade away and become insignificant. So if I co-created a future which was 30 or 50 years out, what we are discussing right now becomes really petty. Because I can see that the world in 30, 50 years is going to be so different from today's world that I'm going to maybe be a machine by then. And we're complaining about me going to the factory on time. So that's what creates for people a way to reconcile their
Space,
differences because they now step into a shared future together. But this shared future is unknown to both of us. You're not better. I'm not better. We have to co-navigate to get there. And I suddenly find that what is important to me has a place here because it's all uncharted.
But then it goes back to Prani's point, like is somebody going to lose out there? Right? Am I going to have to make the sacrifice? Who's going to make the sacrifice here?
Oh no, but that's
Yeah.
the point. But that's the point, right? It doesn't come from the language of sacrifice. It comes from the language of co-creating, and it's a tough one.
Yeah.
because the sanitized way in which we have dealt with family problems is buyout, and
Of course, that's the point. That's the last resort, you know. Even when we talk about relationship conflict, we still go in, can we
Yes.
sort it out, right? And I think more often than not, it is possible.
That is the last resort.
yes, once the emotions,
once everyone settles down. But when that fails or when that is no longer available, then what are the ways that we can actually resolve it?
and
Yes.
that would be the final
Yeah.
destination.
VUCA is, volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. I mean, that's a term that's now thrown around quite a bit. But, somebody recently asked me about that and said, how do you deal with uncertainty, right? And I said, well, the only way you can deal with uncertainty is by creating certainty, right? So in a way, it's like, I don't know whether you know the work of Margaret Wheatley or the work of Otto Scharmer. They talk about really creating islands of coherence. So in today's world where everything is in a flux, how do we create like the island
Anchor.
of coherence, the anchor, right? So we need to also create those today, right? And so that's part of VUCA, crisis management, like how do we proactively create those spaces?
Yeah, so I go back to the North Star. I think if you have values and purpose and it's very clear to you, your priorities are very clear, your decision making is also very clear.
Yeah.
That's right.
Right. Well, and I mean, you guys were having such a great debate. And practical me will say, is there ever a time where the relationship really cannot be saved and you have to disconnect?
Yeah. Yep.
Right? I mean, in a corporate environment, we change employers, right? When we really feel like we cannot get along anymore.
Yes.
But I guess in the family setting, as long as there is love or there's some connection, then there is hope.
Yeah.
But once it's severed,
Yeah.
whether it's through mistrust or years of abuse,
Yeah.
it's gone. You can't salvage
Yes.
it, right? And it's better that people disconnect and live a better life.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
And, exactly. And I think to tell the truth
that's the
about it, right?
practical
To see
side.
it in the face, like you said, right? To acknowledge it, to take responsibility for it and say, this is the way we're going to deal with that, right? And
In
so,
fact, anticipate it.
So from such a spirited discussion about crisis, let's move to another topic, and that's about spirituality.
Oh, wow.
I would like to ask you, what is spirituality for both of you? And also, where are you in that journey?
Actually, interestingly enough, I think it really boils down to the North Star for me, right? It's a way for me to reconcile a lot of things with spirituality. I suppose in an external being like religion, there is no persona, so to speak, right?
Yes.
But it's more like, it boils down to everything that I believe in. Like, you are a fly on the wall, right? Yeah, honestly, I mean, that is how I deal with problems.
They're so small and insignificant.
When I have a crisis or when I have a problem,
Yes.
right? I usually manage that by first calming myself down by my fly on the wall theory, right? I look at it and I said, okay, what is my perspective on this particular problem, right? Am I being overly dramatic? Is it really going to kill me?
Yeah.
Right? I am but a speck on the wall that, really like nobody's going to give a hoot, right? And that's how I calm myself down. That's how I deal with that. To me, that is very much part of internalizing a lot of things.
So it's like it grounds you in that moment, right?
It grounds you.
But is that being spiritual though?
Yeah. Because she
It's so
connects to
many-
herself.
So many aspects of it, right? You connect to yourself. So you're always having conversations about things with yourself.
Spirituality can be anything, and how you define it as well.
Okay.
Right? It can be that religious expression or that connection to a higher being or even connection to yourself.
Okay. So I was initially, when you asked that question, my first thought was, I'm not spiritual. Because I don't have the spiritual expression. I'm atheist. So, but now that you've said that it can be connection to yourself, etc., I can put it out there and you can tell me whether I'm spiritual or not. You see, I am banking trained.
Yes.
So to us, trust is everything. And to us, your word is your bond. So you don't break that trust ever. Right? And we also have a high degree of ethics and integrity. I always have an inner voice saying, if somebody reads that on the newspaper, what would your grandma say? Or what would your mom say? So I have that aspect that always keeps me on the right path. So I don't want to do the wrong thing, whether it's in corporate life or in my personal life. I'm always going for the right thing to do, even if it's painful and it's uncomfortable. I need to be brave and do the right thing.
Right.
So is that spiritual? She says I'm not spiritual. See?
No, but that grounds you. That
it totally grounds me.
It supports you
it
to be
gives me
connected to yourself, to others.
that consistency.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me why do you disagree? That's not spirituality.
Why should you have some external factor guiding what's right or wrong? Internal compass as to what is right or wrong.
It's true.
Yeah,
It's my internal voice. Right? Because
No, but you just told me. You just expressed it as you think about what other people would think.
No, because it's very clearly there's right and wrong. I mean, like if you're
No,
gonna
I disagree with that. There's no clear right and wrong.
Actually, what I can hear is that although you may use a reference as mother or grandmother, but that's now internalized. Right. So that is like a self-reflection, right? It's like we contain all of life. For me, my version of spirituality, it's like I'm all of it. So the buck starts with me and ends with me, right? So that's
your own
me.
accountability.
Right. So even if I were to voice it as what would someone else say, for me, that will be actually what would I say ultimately, because I am that someone, right? And because it comes back to me, because I take the system's view on life and there's no one to blame. Everything happens because it happened. Right? And even trying to figure out why did it happen is a waste of time. Spirituality, in my perspective, is really just being anchored to the bigger self, the bigger purpose, and that bigger purpose includes everything. Therefore, I don't have to be stuck with something that's not going my way, right? Because it's all happening for a reason. And when I say for a reason, I'm not even looking for a spiritual or a religious, like some people might say it's a karma, right? You know, it happened because something happened. But if you look from a sister's perspective, yeah, you know what? If I pushed her and then she ended up landing on you and then that happened, something over there and and then 3 years later, someone kicks me. How?
Or what would my children think of me?
Yeah.
Because you're supposed to be their role model.
But I suppose in a way, okay, I grant it. I take it on point.
Thank you.
This whole concept of connection and unity and, yoga in what she says. The union of grandma's perception and mom's perception. That could be spiritual.
To me, it's about doing the right thing. And what do the people that are most important to me, what will they think of me, right? Keeps me focused on doing the right thing. So I can anchor to anything, right?
Maybe it's not
to myself. I like your version of we are just but a speck. So it puts everything into perspective.
That's right.
Right? Don't take everything personally.
Yeah.
Just think about it and be very practical about it, and then do your, critical thinking, problem solving, and then you just move on.
Yeah. We all have different narratives and different languaging to describe spirituality. I've journeyed from the religious practices to spiritual connection to now have a sense that I'm part of the whole. And if I show up somewhere, then there is something that I have to provide, and that's it. Or I have to receive. And I don't overthink it. I watch the news and I'm sort of detached from it. Like you hear all the negative news. There's a version of me asking myself, why aren't I getting so upset about it? But as I asked that question, I've moved on already. I'm not thinking about it.
See you, the fly.
I guess it goes back to your point about being really clear about your North Star and what's the shared future. And my shared future is how to expand collective consciousness. And so everything is part of that journey.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Fly?
Next one. Is it possible to live a simple life? But before you answer the question, please define what a simple life is for you.
I try,
Okay. What's a
Yes,
simple life
I've
for
been
you?
watching a lot of YouTube videos about a simple life. Yeah. It's definitely not aestheticism. It's not the traditional Buddhist concept of that. Definitely not. I think to me a simple life is it boils down to yet again Michelle's North Star, right?
Yes.
You have clarity in your mind what you want out of this life, right? It's clear in your mind. And then you just do things to achieve that. That is simple. You don't get distractions. You don't let the fact that Jack next door has the Cadillac or the Buick or whatever that you want. You don't worry that somebody has that waterfront property if it's not within the sphere of your purpose.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, what fills that hole within you is not external. It's different for everyone, but for me, relationships is the love of my children, is the fulfillment of a responsibility at work to my bosses and doing a good job that fulfills me, being a good mother and watching my children grow up to be beautiful beings that fulfills me. Yeah, sure, I love that beautiful house and all that, but that cannot be the norm of things. So I think that to me is a simple life.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
That's very spiritual. Wrong question.
Yeah.
Okay. But anyway, for me, I'm going to be more practical. So it's being footloose and fancy free, doing what I want to do anytime I want to do it, and that means being debt free. With liquidity, right? To live the life that I want to live. Now, you say that's not simple, but then you think about our lives today. We've got mortgages, we've got cars, we've got houses, okay? In my case, in different parts of the world, it's complicated. So I would like to divest, be asset light, right? And then when I decide that I want to do something, I can do it. And the kids are getting bigger. If they end up in UK, hey, guess where I'm going to be at least 3 months of the time. Right. I don't want to be somewhere else and not being able to spend time with them. So I'm trying to create that simplicity with not so much trappings of the real, real world assets. See, we're sisters.
I know.
Yeah, different.
Yeah.
And what about you, Poorani?
Simple life is the ability to live with what's in front of you.
Right. Presence.
Yeah, it's present. And do whatever. I mean, if I have to prune down or if I have to be extravagant, but that's what's there in front of me, right? So it's not having to plan and live my life according to a plan. But to be able to, to be in a dance with whatever is happening, right? So if I have to sell my house and move to a smaller house, I would do that, right? Not because it's a sacrifice, because that's just what's there. Or if I need to get a bigger house for whatever reason, then I would. So I guess a simple life is really the ability or the freedom to choose, right?
It's the freedom to choose. And in order to choose, to create that ability, it all boils down to, sadly, your ability financially to live the life that you want to live. And you know what? You don't have to live the life where you are jet setting everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, you might be just doing your 10,000 steps. Instead of taking a Grab, you walk your 10,000 steps, and it's great.
Yeah.
It depends on where you are in your life,
Yeah.
right? I mean, we were different when we were 20s and gathering assets. Now, if you're 50s and 60s, what do you want? How many houses can you have?
That's true.
I mean, that's impractical, I think.
Yeah, but the only thing I would say about that is we forget. And then money chooses for you how you then live your life, right? You know, because then the dynamics turns. And I think that's a challenge most people would have halfway through. Like you said, it's all, you're burdened by your assets.
But I think, Poorani, your point is very, very apt, you know. I think a simple life is not about all that. It's just living for the moment and not overthinking things.
Yeah.
No, but if you live for the moment and you know you've got bills that you cannot pay, or you are living beyond your means, that's not a simple life.
Yeah.
That's not a simple life. So you got to take a very practical aspect to simple life.
Yes. So I guess what they are saying is that for them, they are going to be responsible with living for the moment and knowing
inside of the circumstances
resources
and
that
what
they
you
have.
Not everybody has the opportunity to go and liquidate, you know, and have freedom of choice.
I mean, if we can, we should plan for the future, right?
And when supposedly they can't plan, and then they just deal with it in terms of whatever resources available.
You just got to enjoy what is in front of you at that moment.
Simple life, quickly.
Oh,
Well,
for me,
your perspective of simple life.
you know, I became an entrepreneur very young, and I funded my own entrepreneurial journey, although I did also fundraise. And I had a budget when I started way back, maybe 30 years ago. It would have been like a few $100s. And, you know, so a simple life for someone who had a budget for themselves in a few $100s is very basic.
It's pretty simple. You were starting out.
But, you know, that became a discipline and that became a way of life.
Okay.
Because I've been an entrepreneur as a way of life.
So you don't have the trap. So you have a very practical view too.
Yeah, I actually get very
simple.
happy when I can spend money on other people.
Oh, thank you. You can buy lunch after this.
I'm really present to that a simple life is both the physical aspects and also how we relate to it mentally as a mindset. And I think we can drop the clutter in our heads for sure.
Yes.
And as we do that and we simplify the thinking, then it will also show up outwardly.
Yes.
Drop the clutter in your head. Yeah. That's excellent.
That's not overcomplicating things.
Yeah.
Not overthinking things.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's the simple life.
Yeah. Yes. Forgetting, forgiving, moving on, letting go.
Yeah.
International Women's Day.
It's about
Giving and gaining.
Give to gain.
You know why I said give to gain? Because we have this thing says forgive and forget, right?
Yes, forgive
If you just give and get,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So what do you give up something and then you get the joy
yes,
and the freedom,
Poorani.
right? So I always use that thing, forgive and forget. But anyways. So that's why I recall.
In the financial world, it is reap what you invest.
Right. This year, 2026 IWD theme on give to gain is actually very active because we've had themes on, let's say, empowerment or whatever. But here it's very specific. What are you going to give to gain? Is it knowledge? Is it resources? Is it your network? Is it your time? Is it sharing?
It's a big call to action. It's like you can't sit there and wish it all to happen.
Yes.
It's like, what are you going to do about it?
Correct.
It's a call to action.
Correct.
And people give in different ways. You can be an ally, you can be an advocate, you can be living it.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, I think that's a very powerful theme. Love it.
That's right. And what about you, Felicia? What do you see about the theme give to gain?
I think my sister is so much a bigger person than I am.
Different.
She gives a lot. She's out there, she's involved, she's participating. I am more nuclear. Right? I give within my sphere. I give to my employees, I give to my family.
You give to your clients?
I give to my clients, yes. So
Friends.
but I strongly believe that you get what you give, right? I think that is also very Buddhist, isn't it?
Like that circular.
Reap the karma.
Reap what you sow.
Yeah.
You reap what you sow, ultimately, right? So you do good if you want good. It's karma.
Right. Okay. And you, Poorani?
I'm so into my system's view of stuff and, the whole of it. But when I say give to gain, I said, whose gain, right? Because I can give something for my self-gain, like, it just makes me feel better. Or am I really giving something that would actually provide something for the beneficiary, for that person? Am I giving it for them, right? Versus for me? It's a lovely theme. Like you say, it's very active. It really puts the accountability on me to do, and also freedom that I can give and I can whatever I can. And everyone has something to give. That's the point. It's time, it's love, it's encouragement, it's money, it's expertise. The question is, where is it going? Like, it's not just a random, gosh, extra cash, let me just give it, right? But it's something very purposeful and focused.
I think so. And gain doesn't mean you gain.
Right.
Anybody can gain.
Yes.
The impact is different. It can be one person, it can be many people, right? But everybody gains something when you give.
Yeah.
That's right. Even though we are doing it for someone else, we all gain. So, just give because we all gain.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. I believe in that.
Yeah.
It resonates.
If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Oh, I can answer that.
Yeah, please.
To eat as much as I want and not get fat.
Okay, I got it. You granted that.
I have wanted this superpower now for as long as I can remember.
Oh gosh.
I can easily answer that.
Okay.
That's a good one.
you
That's a
go
good
first.
one. That's a good one.
I have to think. My children ask me that all the time.
Really?
And I still cannot give because I want so many superpowers. I cannot choose. Can I have the superpower to have more superpowers?
Yes, why not?
Yes, why not?
I can?
Yes.
For me, I don't know. Actually, it's such a question that I never actually had an answer to.
Oh, dear.
Yes, people have asked me this question a few times. No, actually, I don't want a superpower. I mean, I don't.
Yeah,
I guess,
it's hard. It's so hard.
I mean, but I like what you said though.
Yeah,
because that's
I
like,
do.
That's like,
I'm simple.
Yeah, I know.
I'm very clear in my head what I want.
It's that's wonderful. I can be healthy and happy regardless of whatever, right?
Yes.
What I eat, what I do.
That's right.
That's just a fun one, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, another question. If you could have dinner with anybody in the world, who would you like to have dinner with?
I've got that one.
Okay, good. Go ahead.
My two boys.
Oh.
I spend all my time with them if I can. They just bring me so much joy.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Wow. I don't know. I've never thought about that one. I really haven't thought about that one. I mean, I like the financial gurus. I don't know. I can't answer that one.
Okay.
You'll have a buffet.
I will eat alone with
table.
you too. I can eat with all of them.
Yes, all of them. Yes.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Invite them all.
Exactly. And what about you, Poorani?
Another one of those. Maybe that tells you that I do not like questions like this. It's like, it's
Making you choose.
No, well, it's
too deep thinking.
to me, it's like if it happens, if whoever's there at my last moment or that moment is
It's
wonderful.
not last
I mean,
moment.
whatever, like,
Okay.
I don't have a what ifs.
Okay. All right.
Sorry,
The new one.
I'm terrible with
So
this.
another
Yes.
question. What's the best advice that you've ever received?
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Best advice. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
That is
Well, my mother always told me that failure is a pillar in the house of success. So that's always encouraged me not to be worried failure because, that's just a pillar in the house of success.
you are but a fly on the
Who said that?
Did you really?
You said that to yourself.
Somebody said something when I was
Great,
little.
Not
great,
bad.
great.
And you really,
It's true.
and it stayed with you. Wow.
Yeah.
yeah.
I always had images of that. I always have images of that. I always have images of a speck in the universe.
Wow.
How amazing.
Amazing.
Okay, I got mine.
Yes.
You are lazy. Yes. Can you believe somebody told me
Wow.
you are lazy?
And so that's the best advice because
Because
After that-
and I realized that 10 years later, and this guy was the global head of HR that employed me to be the global head of the business that I was running for the bank then. And he says, don't get me wrong, you're not lazy because you don't do the work. You're lazy because you're Singaporean, you're female in Singapore, right? In a very senior
Comfortable.
MD position, you are too comfortable.
you might have to come.
That's why what do you want? And I only realized 10 years down the road and up to today, and he is absolutely right. I was cruising. I was cruising from one role to the other, just senior, right? Growing up the ranks of corporate life that I actually didn't think to be proactive in the direction that I wanted, whether it was a corner office or something else. So I really appreciate that advice. And now I really try and practice that because that's in whatever that I'm doing, I try and be very conscious in the direction. So that goes back to North Star, purpose and values.
Great.
So, yeah.
And that also goes back to creating the life you want versus, by default, just getting it, right?
Yes.
Like what's there.
You have to be consciously creating your environments, I believe, because there's so much distractions and noise now.
That's if it's an environment that you want.
So you have to get yourself
Not everybody
out.
wants the same environment.
Yeah.
No. So that's why it's very personal. But you have to have the courage to take yourself out of bad environment or situations
Don't let people tell you what you
and
want.
create that situation, right? That makes you happy.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
And what about you, Poorani?
I remember, I don't call it an advice, but it's almost like do what is wanted and needed. Yeah, so that's something that just do what's wanted and needed. And so has me be sometimes a rolling stone and do random strange things, but that's what's wanted and needed.
When she irritates me, I'll remember that.
That is not
what's wanted and needed?
nor needed.
No,
Okay,
no.
Poorani.
That's wanted and needed. And she's there to remind me to be irritated.
To be irritating.
No, or not needed or wanted.
No, I can look at it the other way.
Yes, indeed.
It's
Yeah,
after all for my, evolution.
that's right. I'm here to evolve you.
Oh, well, sisters, we've really enjoyed this dialogue, conversation. And it's been
Likewise.
really great.
Yeah, likewise.
And it's been wonderful getting to know both of you and getting to know you too, Poorani.
Yes.
It's been very real.
Yes.
I hope that it adds value, and people, just take our perspectives.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, of course.
And I mean, that's how it is, right? How life is, so many different lives and experiences and perspectives. Someone listening out there, right, matches or doesn't match, but still something to learn, something to take away.
And Felicia, the last word.
Well, I think I must confess, this is my first podcast.
Oh,
And that's because I always think that nobody wants to listen to your own perspectives. So if somebody does listen to this and take something away from it, then I would be extremely humbled and honored. Right.
Okay. Thank you.
we learned a lot from you,
Yeah,
Sister Fly.
Yeah.
Yes, Sister Fly.
Yes. Well, thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you,
great.
Michelle. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Dr. Ramesh.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dear listeners, if you've been listening and enjoying the Thriving in the Age of Disruption podcast series, as well as our Mastery Effect podcast series, we'll appreciate it very much if you can share with us the topics that are close to your heart so that we can source the relevant experts and change makers and have them be on our show. Do comment below and let us know where you are commenting from and what is it that is of biggest concern to you.